Alright, now before we get into it, this is Don. Say hello, Don. Thank you, Don. Now, before we start this song and before Don starts practicing, it's too late now, Don, we're into it. Now, no, I'll tell you when to start, Don. You know, that's what I hate about being a duo, there's two of you. Now, there's one of the lads said tonight, you know, Jim, you should put a boot together, really, about life in the clubs and things that happened over the years since 1964. Because over the last sort of few months, since we kicked off last year, I've tried to give a little bit of cross about what happens in the way it used to be. Now, a lot of you in here know, now it's nice when you get some younger people in, because you haven't got a clue what it used to be like. I mean, how really it was. I'm not, Alan, I'm going to talk out loud for you and Davey here, am I? I just didn't want to interrupt, you know. So, what happened was, I must tell you, because it was New Year's Eve 1965, and we got our gig from an agent, and he says, I've got a lovely job for you, and it's smashing. It's 1965, it's £15, and it's a pick-up. New Year's Eve, you know, £15, oh. You know, that was like it. That was when petrol was £4.10 a gallon. £4.11, that was where you got 2 and 2 shots for £10, that's right. So, just taking you back a few years, lads and lasses. So we said, right, we'll take it. Now, we lived in around Stanley and Catchgate, and that way. Says, where's the gig? And he says, it's Towlaw Club. Oh, you know, we knew what it was like, but if it doesn't snow, it's a canny run up there. Stanley, Manchester, up the bank, up to Towlaw, no bother. Knew how to get there, knew what time the show started, so we set off at 3 o'clock. Just a little dusting of snow at 3 o'clock, right? And we set off. We skidded down Lanchester Bank, and we got to the bottom of the bank, and there was just like nose to tail traffic all the way down from Concerts, for anybody that knows that road, through Redgate, and all the way down the bottom there, and along from Lanchester towards Durham. So eventually got the road that we wanted that was going to take us to Towlaw. The vehicle at the time was a Morris Commercial diesel with a flat front like that, and as the snow got heavier, the wipers packed in. Now, the wipers then weren't like the modern ones now. They're the ones where you had a machine on the top like that. And so you had to give somebody the job of turning it like that. But you always used to get a crate of beer, bottles, and put them in the back, and whoever was on wipers got a bottle of beer. You know? But then the handle come off just under Lanchester. So I had to stop. And we got some string that we always keep string in the van because it was for the exhaust and things like that. And we got the string and we tied it around the wipers and we were inside and we're pulling on the string like this. It was now 25 to 6, and we got up the banks up to Towlaw like this, and the windows are open because they've got to be open. The sliding glass windows with a little bit of glass stuck on where you slid them, otherwise the string wouldn't go on. And we're coming up, and then as we got to the big steep bank that leads up to Satley, up that way, and one of the injectors come off the diesel. Like that. So we're on to 3, so it was like, it was like life is just a bowl of cherries in 5/4 time, which Billy Baker knows exactly what I mean. Life is just a bowl of cherries. Now, we did know then that the van went backwards better when there was an injector off. But, this is all on New Year's Eve. Obviously the driver couldn't see going backwards because it was the van was full of stuff and it had a bulkhead. So what happened was Alan will be driving and Stewie, who's not here tonight, got the job because he didn't drink, was standing on the bonnet looking over the top of the van and shaking his legs like that for Alan to like that to turn left and a bit of right, a bit like that. And we got to the top of the bank and we eventually got into Towlaw at about 5 to 8 or so. We got along the main road, which was like snow piled up by now, and we got to the club, got to Towlaw Club, and we were like chuffed a bit. You couldn't believe how we felt on. We got to the door, we rushed in, at 8:05, the concert chairman was there. what friggin' time do you call this, he says. And that night, honestly, we had to sleep in the club. The concert, the steward wouldn't even let us sleep in his flat. They'd put the heating off in the club. Right? And because you couldn't afford to put on all, we had to sleep in it. And we were stuck in the club for a day and a half. And then he stopped some more money because we were late.